McDonald's, America's favorite fast food restaurant. And in 2020, Funko actually teamed up with them to create the very first Pops. We had Mayor McCheese, Grimace, Birdie the Early Bird, as well as a bunch of others. And you may be wondering, Tristan, why are you in front of this McDonald's? It's literally just to make this intro. So anyways, let's go back to the office and check out every single figure they've created since that first Ronald McDonald. Alrighty, so let's get into these figures. And I think the best place to start is, of course, Ronald McDonald, where I have the original one right here, the first McDonald's figure they ever created. And I honestly think it's a really well done figure, and normally Funko Pops don't have mouths, but I'm glad they added it to this one, because I feel like him without the clown mouth would look a little bit odd. And I think just overall it is a really, really well done Pop. The way they did the hair, as well as his hands kind of out like this, I don't know, he was always like that. And I think one of my favorite things about Ronald McDonald when I was younger was the benches that you could sit on, where he would be on one side, then you could take a picture on the other. Do you guys remember those? And now, keeping it on theme with the original characters, I also have the Grimace here, which is another really great one. He's a little hard to see in the box, but he is a really well done figure, and I think if they're going to be making another Grimace in the future, I would love a flocked version of him. And again, actually, with this figure here, I am glad they added the mouth, because he totally would have looked odd without it. Then we've got another classic one, the Hamburglar, and his two little teeth sticking out in the front are kind of funny. I also really enjoy he's got his hands on the sides, he's got his huge cape on, the massive hat, as well as the mask on the front there. I almost called it a bandana for some reason. And it is definitely not that, but also the nose on the front, I'm just noticing, he's got a pretty big schnoz. But still a great figure nonetheless. Then everybody, we've got our first set of Fry Kids. There was actually two different ones that released, and this one here was the normal one you could get at pretty much any store. Oh, and I'm noticing on the back that they both have a name. I've actually never noticed this, because on the side here it just says Fry Kids, but on the back it says Fry Girl Cyan and Fry Guy Orange. Kind of weird that I never noticed that, but it's neat that they added that to the back. And I think that these really do look great, because they were the normal price of a Pop, but you really get like two fun characters. And so let me put this one up here. I guess that's probably the best way to show them off for now. And let me grab the other one here. This was a Funko Shop exclusive, and they also have their names on the back. This one here is Fry Girl Red and Fry Guy Green. And I think if you wanted to get all of these ones for like 30 bucks, you could have four pretty fun characters. Definitely cool to have in the collection. And now some of you guys might be noticing that I actually skipped over two Pops from the original set. That would be Mayor McCheese as well as Officer Big Mac, and I don't technically have them separate. But what I do have is something even better. Because around the same time that they released the original wave, they also released another set that was only exclusive to McDonald's website, and I was able to get that, and check it out, guys. It is all of the characters together, including the two that I'm missing separately. Why didn't I pick them up separately? I'm not exactly sure, and I think it might be because when they were first releasing, they were pretty hard to find. So at least I was able to get them inside of here, and honestly, this bundle looks great altogether. And so taking a look at Officer Mac as well as Mayor McCheese a little bit closer up, I think they both really do look great, like the M on the belt for Officer Mac, as well as the sash with the M for Mayor McCheese. I don't know, I really like them. Oh, and then you can also take a look on the back side here, which has every character except for the one exclusive to the Funko Shop, but still, it's pretty much got everybody. Now let's get into Wave 2 of the McDonald's Pops, where we had some more interesting ones. And these might even be characters that you've never heard of before, but we're going to be starting with these two, which is Birdie the Early Bird, which I feel like is probably the most known out of the second wave. I mean, she's pretty much just like anybody who goes there early in the morning, and I really do like that she's got her overalls on with the McDonald's logo, as well as the goggles, which means she's ready for flight. And actually, now that I think about it, why would a bird need goggles? I don't ever see birds in the air with goggles. Oh, whatever, it's a McDonald's character. And then the other one that I've got here is the Rock Out Ronald McDonald, where he actually has an M guitar. Pretty funny. And this one is very similar to the original, and something that I do find kind of interesting is that the side here, where it actually shows the glasses, looks like they're going to be 3D, but then when you take a bit of a closer look at him, they're actually kind of like molded into his face. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but either way, I really, really enjoy this one, especially that guitar, and I believe this was from like a commercial in the 90s or 80s, sometime around then. And then everybody, we've got our first exclusive for the next wave, and then we'll get into the Nuggets, because there is a lot of them. And the one that I'm talking about here is Captain Crook, and I believe out of every single one of these characters, he is the only one without a mouth. Oh, you know what? I guess the Fry Kids don't have mouths, but then the actual mascots don't either, so does that count? You guys can go fight about it in the comments. And anyways, Captain Crook here was actually a New York Comic Con exclusive the first year these guys released. And honestly, I hope that they continue to do more characters like this for McDonald's, because I think they're really some fun ones to to pick up. And again, just like every other one, I do like that he's got the McDonald's pin on the front there, as well as the giant C on his hat, which I guess would stand for Captain Crook, probably. Oh, and you know what, guys? I just noticed Captain Crook was actually part of Wave 1, not Wave 2. I apologize. But anyways, now it is time, everybody. Let's get into these nuggets. And the reason I waited to show you the nuggets is because you could probably make an entire videos on them themselves, because we have the Pumpkin Nugget, as well as the Drummer McNugget. Then we've got Tennis Nugget, what a weird one, as well as Rockstar McNugget. Then we've got the Scuba Nugget, probably my favorite out of all of them. And then the last two that we've got here is the Fireman Nugget and then the Cowboy McNugget. And so as you guys can see, there is a lot of these guys, with these two over here being exclusive to, I believe it would have been, what is that over there? I think it would be San Diego Comic-Con as well as New York Comic-Con, and then this one here was Target. So it really did take a bit of hunting if you wanted to find every single one of these, and I like seeing them all together because they're a little bit smaller than the usual pop, almost the size of an actual nugget. And for anybody who's curious what these are from, it's actually some of the 90s McDonald's toys. You could actually get one of these bad boys, well, not the Funko-ified versions, but you know what I mean, inside of your Happy Meal. And it's funny, I go to a lot of flea markets as well as just like places like that, and I've never seen a single one of these there. I'm kind of hoping to run into them in the future so we can compare them in person. But for now, what we've got is these really grainy pictures. All right, so now that we're done with Wave 1 and Wave 2, let's get into the ones that you had to pick up in specific countries. And I think we'll start with the Australia one here, which is the Diamond Edition version of Ronald McDonald for the 50 Years of Macca's, which is what they actually call it in Australia. And I don't know if this was just 50 years of Australian McDonald's or 50 years of McDonald's in general, but I'm guessing it's the Australian version, because I swear that it's been around for a lot longer than that. And I'm also noticing on the back here, it said that 100% of the profits go to Ronald McDonald House charities in Australia, which was pretty nice. And something that was really cool about this figure is the way that you were able to purchase it was actually going through the drive-thru or going into McDonald's and saying, hey, can I get a Ronald McDonald Funko Pop? I remember seeing videos of people actually going through the drive-thru, and it was really neat to see. I wish I could have done it in person. Oh, and by the way, this is the exact same sculpt as the original Ronald that released. And then after Australia, there was one other country that you could pick up a Funko Pop from, and it was Thailand, and this is the Ronald McDonald that they got. It's actually the version that you can find outside a lot of their locations, and I thought it was super cool that they turned this into a figure that you could only purchase there. And now, if you're wondering how I was able to get this, I actually ordered it through, I believe it was Chrono Toys. They put up a bundle where you could get both this one as well as the other one I'm about to show you. And now, of course, this figure is cool, but I'm sure you guys are thinking, wouldn't it have been neat if they made a chase? And well, they did. It's actually a glow-in-the-dark version, and pretty much everything on this figure glows from the hair all the way down to his suit. And now, normally, I'm not a huge fan of just a glow-in-the-dark chase, but I think the way they did it, where pretty much everything glows, does make it way better. And for anybody wondering how much I paid for the bundle, I believe it was something like 80 bucks, which I didn't think was too bad because a plane ticket to Thailand would have been way more. And now that was all of the Funko Pops up until like 2021, and I honestly thought that they were going to be done with them at that point, but then this year they released a couple more. And the ones that I'm talking about are the Meal Squad figures. So we got the Meal Squad Burger, as well as the Meal Squad French Fries, and are you guys ready for this one? The Meal Squad Cup. And yes, all three of these do have mouths, which does look a little bit weird, but I don't know, there's something about them that I really enjoy. And honestly, out of these three here, I think my favorite is the burger, just because, I don't know, it's so different, and these two do look kind of similar because they are very white with like little accents of yellow. But when you take a look at the burger, I mean, the wrapping around the bottom, the bow tie on the front, he's looking pretty dapper. And now something that you guys might have noticed is that they actually changed up the colors on these boxes, so it's not that normal yellow and red, they actually made it white instead. And when you take a look on the back here, you can see it's like a pattern of a bunch of different versions of the McDonald's logo, and you also might be noticing, is that Speedy? And he's actually the reason that I'm making this video today, because I just picked him up yesterday, and I was so excited to show you guys. Because I do officially have the entire collection complete, with at least one of every single version of that character. Because of course we do have the Mayor McCheese, but not the separate ones, and then also, I forgot to mention earlier, there was a 5-pack of nuggets that released, but it's all the exact same ones that I have separately, so I just didn't go for it. But I digress, and let's take a bit of a closer look at Speedy, because this really is a nice figure. I mean, his little chef hat, the way he's running, the original McDonald's logo as well as the I'm Speedy logo because of course McDonald's was the fast food. And it still is today, but I swear sometimes when I get all-day breakfast, it's not that fast. But besides that, that is every single McDonald's Pop for today. And please let me know in the comment section below which one out of all of these was your favorite. Also, do you have any in your collection? But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video and I'll see you tomorrow!